You want to know how to be the man all women quietly desire without having to convince, explain, or perform. Good. Because the truth is, attraction is not created in the mouth. It's transmitted in the microsignals you leak before a single word leaves your lips. The stillness of your body, the patience in your eyes, the weight of your attention, the way you claim space without apology. If you've ever felt unseen or overlooked, it wasn't because you didn't say the right line. It's because your presence didn't register at the nervous system level. Women don't fall for speeches, they attune to signals. They feel safety, tension, promise, and possibility long before they hear your story. If what you've heard so far is already shifting how you see yourself, stay with me until the end, because we're just getting started. Start with the foundation, your baseline nervous system. Attraction begins in the breath. Your pace either pulls people into your orbit or pushes them away. Slow, deep breathing through the nose with a longer exhale signals to your body and to anyone watching that you're not in a hurry, not in a fight, and not seeking approval. This does more than calm you. It changes your face. Your gaze softens but doesn't scatter. Your jaw releases. Your shoulders sit low and broad instead of creeping toward your ears. Your presence thickens the air without crowding it. Women feel this immediately. The man who breathes like he has time reads as a man who has options. A desperate man leaks urgency. A grounded man broadcasts abundance. In a world of frantic motion, stillness is the most seductive movement you can make. Now look at posture, not the artificial parade ground stance that screams insecurity masked as rigidity, but authentic alignment. Think of an invisible line drawing you tall from the crown of your head down through your spine, and think of your chest as open, not puffed. The difference matters. Puffing is look at me. Openness is I'm unafraid. Tuck your chin slightly to lengthen the back of your neck. It changes your entire vibe from boyish seeking to quiet command. Keep your hands visible when you're around people. Rest them at your sides or loosely interlace your fingers at your lower abdomen. Hidden hands are an ancient threat cue. Exposed hands communicate safety and control. None of this needs to be exaggerated. A few millimeters of correction transforms your aura. Do less, mean more. Your eyes are your most powerful instrument, and most men use them like flashlights, darting and searching. The man women can't forget uses his like a slow, steady beam of sun. Here's the frame. Hold your gaze long enough to make contact, not captivity. 2 to 3 seconds, soft focus, then release. Blink naturally. Let the corners of your mouth relax into the hint of a smile, not a grin, so your eyes carry warmth, not hunger. If she meets your gaze, hold it a hair longer than comfort demands, then be the first to break with a calm exhale as if you're satisfied with what you saw. You're not testing, you're tasting. This subtle pattern, connect, savor, release, creates a loop of curiosity and safety. She doesn't feel chased, she feels invited. Your relationship to space is the next layer. Most men either invade or evaporate. You'll do neither. When you stand, anchor one foot slightly behind the other so your body has an easy, relaxed angle. Angle your torso about 45 degrees in conversation unless you're escalating intimacy. Full frontal alignment is for high connection moments, not every moment. Distance is signal. Arm's length communicates respect. A half step closer communicates interest. A lean back while holding eye contact communicates, I like you, and I'm not moved by pressure. You're building polarity without talk, warmth and boundaries, curiosity and patience. When you move like you're finishing a thought. Smooth, unhurried, economical. The man who fidgets or jitter walks is broadcasting internal static. The man who glides is broadcasting internal order. Clothing is not merely style, it's a silent biography. Fit over everything. The most expensive jacket, if sloppy, looks insecure. A plain, well-fitted tee on a strong frame reads as certainty. Choose textures women want to touch. Soft knit, suede, clean cotton, leather that has earned its character. Keep the palette simple and masculine, deep neutrals, grounded earth tones, one statement piece at most. Every extra detail is a plea for attention. Remove your pleas. Your scent should be the quiet punctuation that arrives a second after you do, never before. Apply to pulse points, wrists, base of the throat, inner elbows, and let the fragrance be an intimate discovery, not an announcement. Clean nails, well-kept shoes, crisp lines. You're telling her without a word, I respect myself, so I respect your senses. Add one subtle signature that becomes your personal myth. Something consistent and deliberate. A minimal ring, a watch you actually value, a bracelet from a place that means something to you. Not a costume, a cipher. The brain latches onto recognizable anchors. Give it one. Women will notice, and that single detail becomes a conversation magnet without you fishing for it. It telegraphs taste, history, and structure. When your outer world is curated, her inner world relaxes. Chaos repels, coherence attracts. Now move inside. A man's unspoken power comes from the hierarchy of his focus. Mission first, then tribe, then romance. Not the other way around. When your day is shaped by purpose, your energy carries an undertone of inevitability. You're not floating. You're aimed. The paradox is that this aim makes you more available in each moment because you're not trying to extract validation from it. Women pick up on this immediately. The man without a center leaks need into every interaction. The man with a center radiates gravity. Do not fake this. Don't announce your goals. Live them. Your calendar should reveal your values. Time blocked for your craft, for your body, for your brothers, for your recovery. When she senses your life has walls and windows, she leans in because windows invite and walls protect. Your boundaries are the outline of your masculine presence. Make them visible without drama. If someone interrupts you, turn your head slowly, meet their eyes, pause a beat before responding. This tells the room you're not ruled by other people's tempo. If someone disrespects you, withdraw your attention more than your words. Attention is your currency. Spend it well. Boundaries aren't lectures, they are exits. Enforce them with movement, not speeches. The man who constantly explains himself secretly seeks permission. The man who chooses where he invests his attention is already permission. If this lands, drop your thoughts below. I read every single one and I want to know which boundary you're going to strengthen first. Let's talk engagement without talk. Social proof isn't bragging rights. It's the way a room subtly organizes itself around you because you orient it with respect. Greet people by name when you can. Acknowledge staff. Thank the bartender with eye contact and a slight nod that says, "I see you." Women pay attention to how men treat people they don't have to impress. Show warmth to others without theatrics. Accept compliments with "appreciate it," not a deflecting joke. Receive, don't perform. Linger a few seconds after laughs and let the silence deepen instead of scrambling for the next line. The man who can hold a beat after the moment sends a message. I'm comfortable in the afterglow. I don't need to chase the next hit. Touch is another language entirely, and it must be fluent, calibrated, and consensual. When you meet someone, let your handshake be precise and patient, web to web, pressure match to theirs, a slight draw-in that says hello without gripping. Release smoothly. When you escort someone through a crowded space, offer your forearm, rather than reaching for a lower back you haven't been invited to touch. When connection grows naturally, use your fingertips like they weigh something. A brief, low-pressure touch on the arm paired with eye contact lands 100 times stronger than a clumsy grab. No surprises. Let her see it coming. Anticipation is intimacy. You don't steal moments. You create space for them to meet you. Silence is your amplifier. Most men fear it because silence makes insecurity loud. Learn to pair silence with warmth and intent. When she speaks, let her finish fully. Keep your eyes on hers, or briefly glance at her mouth as she closes her sentence, then pause one heartbeat before you respond. That pause tells her you listened and you're choosing your next move, not reacting from emptiness. Keep your voice measured and grounded. Drop your tone on the ends of sentences rather than lifting it like a question. Fewer words, more meaning. When you do offer something, speak in images or principles instead of trying to impress with facts. I like rooms where the energy doesn't beg. I'm patient with things that matter. Lines like these aren't gimmicks, they're distilled values. They plant flags in her memory because they feel lived, not borrowed. Scarcity of attention is fuel for desire, but scarcity without warmth is cold and forgettable. You want warm distance, available in spirit, selective in investment. When you enter a room, take 10 to 15 seconds to absorb it before engaging. Notice the lighting, the temperature, the density of people, where the sympathy of the room naturally flows. This orientation period keeps you from overcompensating. When you leave a conversation, exit on your own rhythm, not abruptly, not lingering into neediness. A touch to the shoulder, direct eyes. I'm going to grab water, good talking, then actually leave. The return, if it happens, has power because you didn't bleed your presence dry the first time. Environment is strategy. Choose spaces that elevate your nonverbal signal. Seating with a view of the room, lighting that warms skin, music low enough to hear breath and laugh. When you sit, take the corner seat when possible. It gives you angles, not traps. Place your phone face down and out of reach. Being unreachable for a short window creates a field where connection can stretch. Women are finely tuned to distraction. The man who's not ruled by his screen reads as rare. Rare is attractive. Your body is your broadcast. Train for density, not just size. Strength in the posterior chain, open hips, mobile shoulders. A strong back changes how you walk and how your clothes hang. It changes how a hug feels and how a hand on your shoulder lands. Don't live in the gym, but don't be a stranger to it. Treat sleep like part of your masculinity. Under-rested men leak irritability and jitter. Well-rested men exude calm. Hydrate. Clean fuel. Not because it's trendy, because your blood chemistry is your baseline mood, and mood is magnetic. Now let's refine the dance of eyes, lips, and breath at close range. At a distance, your gaze invites. Up close, your gaze flavors. Use a slow triangle. Eyes to lips, back to eyes. Don't rush it. Time it with your exhale. This pattern, performed with subtlety, is the nonverbal equivalent of, I see you as a woman and I'm safe to want. If she leans into the tension, stay. If she leans away, step back and soften. You're not chasing, you're sculpting, always attuned, never desperate. If this is hitting something inside you, the sense that you've been working too hard in all the wrong places, send this to a brother who needs to hear it today. Don't keep it to yourself. Minimalism in text and digital presence matters if you want your silence to carry into the virtual world. Your photos should show the 3 pillars of your life: body, craft, tribe, without screaming for applause. Clean backgrounds, natural light, a hint of activity over posed postures. Captions that are sentences, not essays. In messaging, avoid hyper-availability. Reply in your natural rhythm, not to control, but to be honest about your life. The fewer exclamation points you use, the more your words weigh. When you offer an invitation, be clear and specific. Day, time, plan, exit strategy if needed. Ambiguity is where attraction goes to die. Clarity reads as care. Qualification is subtle and silent more than it is spoken. Are you attentive to how a woman treats others? Does she respect your time? Does she communicate directly? You're evaluating her as much as she is evaluating you, not defensively, but discerningly. This discernment leaks into your body language automatically. You don't lean in as far, you don't crowd, you let pauses breathe. Women recognize when a man is interviewing life for fit rather than trying to be selected by anyone who will have him. Your nonverbal says, I choose as well, and that changes everything. Play with tempo. Attraction is built in contrasts. A still gaze followed by a sudden, warm smile. A long pause followed by a decisive movement. A slow entrance and a clean exit. Rhythm makes memory. Speak in a cadence that lives in threes: statement, beat, statement. The brain loves patterns it can't quite predict. Layer your presence like this: calm body, warm eyes, precise touch, sparse words, steady rhythm. Too much of anything becomes noise. You're not trying to be remembered for your tricks, you're building a signature frequency. Humor is a spice, not the meal. Dry, low-energy humor delivered with a straight face often amplifies your gravity. If you're constantly laughing at your own jokes, you're asking for approval. Deliver the line, let it land, then allow silence to do the rest. If she laughs, hold her eyes and let the smile spread slow. A man who can contain his amusement without withholding it reads as sovereign. Sovereign men are intoxicating. Timing of entry and exit can be engineered. Arrive a beat after the peak, leave a beat before exhaustion. In conversation, resist the urge to fill every crack. Tilt your head slightly when listening, as if tuning a radio. You're signaling that you're catching more than words. When it's your turn, lower your volume slightly and slow your tempo. People lean into quiet confidence more than they lean back from loud bravado. If you need to disagree, do it without facial tension. I see it differently. Then state your view clearly. No hedging. Conviction without spikes is rare. It's compelling. When connection tips into romantic tension, let your body language handle 90%. Close the angle. Reduce the distance by a hand's breadth. Breathe in sync for a few beats. Her nervous system will mirror yours if you're calm. If the moment is right and consent is mutual, move first by inches, not feet. Touch her cheekbone with the back of your fingers before you kiss. It's a micro-ritual that announces intention and checks comfort. Pull away a fraction of a second before you want to, eyes still on hers, as if to say, "There's more, and I'm not in a rush." This is how you make silence taste like promise. Understand the difference between intensity and pressure. Intensity is your full presence, undistracted, attentive, unfragmented. Pressure is demand for a specific outcome. Intensity seduces. Pressure repels. If she senses you need her to validate you, she will either distance or control you. If she senses you want her but could stay centered without her, she will relax into curiosity. Desire plus non-attachment is the formula that destroys neediness. It's not indifference, it's self-possession. You're not canceling your hunger, you're mastering it. Your environment at home should extend your non-verbal message. Order your space. One piece of art you love, not 7 you tolerate. A good chair, a clean kitchen, proper lighting, a scent that's yours. 2 glasses that say you planned for company without assuming it. Music low enough to talk over, not to hide behind. The details say, "Welcome," not "Please like me." Women feel the difference. They always do. Conflict will test your presence more than chemistry. When tension rises, slow your breath, lower your voice, square your shoulders, and keep your face open. Don't jab with sarcasm. Hold the frame. We'll figure it out. If you're wrong, say it cleanly and early. Accountability is arousing because it signals power. Only a strong man can own fault without collapsing. Don't bring up old ledgers. Don't punish with withdrawal. Choose clarity over victory. Your silence here should be the silence of patience, not the silence of punishment. If you want your presence to echo after you leave a residue of safety and tension. Safety comes from reliability. Doing what you say, being where you said you'd be, communicating clearly if plans change. Tension comes from unpredictability in flavor, not in ethics. Surprising locations, new experiences, subtle changes in your look, a spontaneous detour because the moon looks better from a different street. Too much predictability turns you into furniture. Too much chaos turns you into a project. Find the line where she can relax and still wonder what you'll do next. Here's the quiet test you can run anywhere. When you walk into a room, pause for 3 breaths at the threshold. Tell yourself, "I'm the slowest heart rate here." Your physiology obeys. Then locate the natural center of the room, the place energy pools, and stand near it without claiming it. Scan with warmth. Engage selectively. Speak slowly. Let people come toward your stillness. This isn't aloofness. It's gravity. If you hold it for 5 minutes, you'll feel a shift. People orient to you without knowing why. That's the invisible handshake. That's the language beneath language. Remember that curiosity is your engine. Ask a woman about things she actually feels, not just things she does. What in your week felt like oxygen? What kind of conversation do you never get to have? When you ask, listen for temperature changes. The rise in her tone, the spark in her eyes, the way her hands move. Mirror the energy, don't mimic it. If she gets animated, you ground. If she grows quiet, you soften. This complementarity builds charge without conflict. You're not trying to match her, you're balancing her. Recovery is part of seduction. A man who doesn't know how to step back, reset, and return isn't attractive. He's available. Build rituals that replenish you. Training, stretching, reading, long walks without your phone, time with brothers who challenge you and refuse to flatter you. The more you invest in solitude, the more intoxicating your presence becomes in company. A man who likes his own company is never a beggar. He's a chooser. If a conversation doesn't land, release it. Don't autopsy in public. If she's cool or distracted, don't react with performance. Shrink the interaction, not yourself. Good talking. Nod, move on. Your pace is your frame. The man who respects his own time teaches others to respect it too. Women are drawn to men whose self-respect isn't situational. When you do compliment, Do it like a craftsman, not a fan. Be precise and rare. That color does something to your eyes. You ask clean questions. You carry yourself like someone who enjoys silence. Then let it sit. Don't stack 3 more. Let your words have oxygen around them. Over-complimenting is sugar, cheap, addictive, forgotten. Precision is salt, economical, essential, unforgettable. There will be moments where you feel the urge to explain who you are, to deliver your resume, to earn your worth. Resist. Show. Don't show off. The world is starving for men who embody rather than advertise. Your presence in silence is the first proof. Your consistent behavior is the second. Your standards are the third. A woman can add to your life or not, but she doesn't define it. This isn't arrogance, it's order. Order is sexy. Here's a final exercise to lock it all in. Tonight, when you brush your teeth, look yourself in the mirror and slow your breath until your exhale lasts longer than your inhale. Drop your shoulders. Set your jaw soft. Hold your own eyes. Ask yourself very quietly, what would a man who doesn't explain himself do tomorrow morning? Then do it. The micro commitments you keep build the micro signals you broadcast. The world reads you by those signals before it hears you. So does she. If what you felt in this message is the shift from talk to transmission, from performance to presence, then let that be your new baseline. Walk into rooms like your heart sets the rhythm. Carry your silence like a velvet hammer. Let your clothing whisper and your eyes do the talking. Offer your attention like a rare wine, measured, warm, never spilled. Be generous with warmth and ruthless with boundaries. Crave connection, not validation. And notice how, without trying, the right women lean into your orbit, relax into your gravity, and remember you long after you've left because your absence still feels like a promise. If this landed, subscribe and stay close. I go deeper than tactics because you're building a life, not a highlight reel. Drop a comment telling me the one micro signal you'll refine first. I read everyone, and I answer the sharp questions. And if you know a brother who needs this recalibration, send it to him now. The world doesn't need louder men. It needs quieter, stronger ones. Your silence is not emptiness. It's power that hasn't wasted itself on words.